Okay. We'll end that. What's up, everyone? Yo, what's going on, Tetra? How you doing?
What's that? How you doing? You good?
Doing great, doing great. Excited to finally start talking about this more.
Yeah, I'm excited to see actually what these pieces look like.
Yeah, no, the collection looks so sick. Yeah, I'm just doing kind of like the final bit of touches and stuff on it.
The
Um,
liquid video looked really sick. I like the just like the dark aesthetic of that video.
yeah, no, I've just been having fun. Like I'm kind of just having fun making these little teaser videos. And funny enough, I work faster in 3D than I do in 2D, I feel like. So, which is kind of funny, um, but yeah. But yeah, for people in the space, so I already put out some details underneath the space when you go down in the comment section. That will be all the stuff, kind of detailed wise, we'll be covering, as well as just learning more about the Print World platform. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and just start talking about this upcoming collection. So yeah, when basically Print World, some one of the team members like reached out to me and they told me about what they were building with how you can bind art to a specific token. Um, my mind like instantly went to SPX 6900, of course, because it's honestly the one coin I think I've been holding. I mean, I've been holding that since like 2024, kind of like right when it was starting to go crazy. But yeah, it's been a community I've been involved in for quite a while. Some of y'all Aeons in here might be familiar with the flower gifts that I have up on Giphy and like Tenure and some of these other gift platforms. And so yeah, I've made those basically like 2024 and 2025. I added some throughout. So yeah, I've kind of already started putting my art in the SPX 6900 community. And when this tool came about, this platform with Print World with their binder kind of feature or protocol, if that's the right technical term, I guess. Uh, I saw it as the perfect opportunity to get my art on a community that I've enjoyed. And it's just a way that I see myself contributing to the coin that I think will go on for a very long time. I like really believe in this coin. Um, and so, yeah. And some other reasons why I picked SPX to put my art on is one of the things I noticed was a lot of people that I respect in the space who I will talk to either on a daily basis, weekly basis, but there's a trust there, and they've gone on to build really cool things in this space. I see them one by one getting involved with SPX 6900, and it's like I was just noticing a trend that is a lot of people that I really appreciate and who have either helped me out in the space a lot with just giving feedback on my art, or yeah, I mean even helping me on the technical end of things. So that the like kind of ethos and everything behind the token really appealed to me, and it was appealing the kind of people that I just really fully trust in this space, which, as we know, can be a very hard thing to find. So yeah, but to get into it more, I will be debuting a 2D collection on SPX 6900, specifically the Soul version, the wormhole. So in that tweet that I did, that will kind of cover everything. I put the contract address to SPX 6900, the Soul wormhole token. And so that's how that will be the token that will be binding to my art. So yeah, that's kind of a quick run through. Some other details is that it will be 69. So it's the mint is essentially free, and Tetra is going to go in on the details with how this all works. But essentially, the mint will be free. The only thing is, you will bind 69 SPX to a art piece. So when you do that, it's basically storing uh, those 69 tokens into the art. And so it will never go beneath 69 SPX. And so, like, it's a guarantee of like you still have control over the tokens within the art. It's binded to the art, and yeah. So essentially, you will be able to trade as well as if you need the tokens back, you will be able to burn the art in order to get the tokens back if you need it or whatever you want to do. It just offers a lot of flexibility without losing your coins, because obviously we want to be just, you know, hodling hodling those tiny coins. So yeah, that's kind of just a quick brief summary on that. um and then we got yeah, the mint date will be a week from now. So a week from now at 5 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I think, trying to think if there's anything else. Let's see. So that, yeah, that's a quick summary. Tetra, if you want to go into the details with the platform, and then yeah, I'll just cover anything else that I think I missed or whatever after that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first I think like SPX was like a good choice. I mean, I wasn't a holder of SPX before this. Once I seen you made the post, like I went out and bought some so I can be ready for the bind. But I think it's like you have a coin like that. That the only time I'd like known a lot about it, obviously over the past years, like Murad and the whole we're gonna flip the S&P 500 and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, when a coin has like a longer term vision and it has like a pretty lofty goal, right? Like it has a pretty large goal. I think it makes it so that then the community, at least a portion of the community kind of comes along for like a longer ride. The goal isn't you're trying to scalp like a 10% trade. You're trying to flip the S&P 500. So it's like, you have this like insane goal in mind. And I think it's like in that sense, a really great choice to go after that type of community. And then I guess what I learned more about it over the past week is that there is a decent community of creators on there. I guess there's some models or incentives or whatever. I don't know if there's a certain culture or whatever. Maybe you can fill in more on how that stuff works. But like I think SPX has a decent community of like creatives in general involved with it. And I think that's like in that sense, it was cool that you chose that token, let alone like something that obviously you were holding yourself and were interested in community wise. Maybe that's also why you became interested yourself. Because I think ultimately Binder serves as a really great protocol for those type of communities, like a community that has a lot of creatives in it. This could be like an avalanche moment, like, where you essentially have this like snowball of one artist showing up, binding the token, showing a use case for the token, which ultimately I see as the greatest use case that a token can have. Because when you really start getting into like thinking about what use cases can these tokens have, and people go like, okay, well, what if we set up like a merch store and then you use the tokens to buy the merch or do whatever? And it's like, okay, well, what is the person that sets up the merch store going to do with the tokens? They have to dump them, right? Like no matter what type of utility you attach to a token, at the end of it, the token has to get dumped, which causes both the token to hurt and the money to leave the ecosystem because they have to use that money to like send to some factory, produce the clothes, like whatever. So ultimately, whatever type of models of utilities I've seen in the past always lead to this aspect where the tokens actually end up hurting. I hadn't really seen a model that worked before, where the token is one in one with the locking mechanism. And I think one thing that we saw definitely last cycle as a natural, almost like psychological locking mechanism was art collection, right? People were buying art pieces and then became like emotionally attached to them. And some of these were going to insane valuations. And then people just couldn't sell them because they like love the piece. And even if they round tripped it, and the value of that asset came down, they still along the way were not willing to let go of it. And that was kind of like the general thesis behind why we built Binder. It was like, okay, well, people are happy to hold an asset obviously not happy when the asset goes down in value, but they're happy to hold it along the way, hoping that like maybe it'll bounce back, maybe it'll go up. But like either way, I'm not willing to sell it. It's my only one. It's a piece of my identity. It's my PFP. It's whatever. So like people become attached to these pieces, and I think that collectability side of art is so important. So if we tokenize things too much and things become almost too gamified and everything becomes too financialized, then we lose that aspect of the value of art, which is why Binder doesn't have a swap mechanism, right? Like it's like if you want to get your tokens back, you have to burn the art. So there isn't an opportunity for that art to be held by anybody else. So you don't have that psychological trigger that says, oh, you know what? Like I'm just going to go ahead and unbind it, and then maybe in the future I'll come back and rebind it. It's like no, it's not possible. You have to make your choice pretty hard and clear, which is do you value the art? And if you value the art and you want to hold it, well, do you actually have a vision of holding this token as well? But it also plays into a different side of the ecosystem, which like a lot of people don't want to necessarily come in and just play a gamble on the art piece when they feel like these pieces are illiquid. So there's like issues on both sides of a market, right? Collectibles and NFTs have had a major liquidity issue. And because of that, we haven't had necessarily the most success with them over the last couple of years. And tokens, as we've seen, as more get deployed, especially with a new meta that's going on, where new deployments are actually a better way to make money than being a trader. So, like honestly, a lot of top traders now are becoming serial deployers. So we're kind of seeing that even tokens don't have holdability, like collectability. Like, yeah, sure, you have holders and traders, but how many people are actually collecting tokens where they say, I need to have 500 SPX tokens. And now that I have 500, I really need 600. Most people don't really think of tokens like that. They just think, oh, I put in $2,000 and I really want to get out $4,000. And I really want to get out $6,000. So it's like you're always thinking of it from a trader and holder mindset. And this is what Binder is. Binder essentially gives you a protocol that lets you merge those two together. So you have that instant liquidity. You ultimately take a token that you're already holding or a token that you're going to buy and bind it into a collectible asset. And ultimately, that asset becomes like a wallet, also like a safe. And the great part about it is that not only do the artists that come and do something like, for example, someone like Evan, not only is he bringing forth a locking mechanism for the community, like, you know, usually when you launch something in this space, people think like, oh, like you're here to extract from that community. Now, whatever the degree of value that you bring back is what somebody can deem as value add versus extraction. But that aside, it's like people usually have this general off the cuff, like first motion of like, oh, well, you're here because you see like the value in this community and you want to make something from this community. But how we like flip that on its head is that no, actually, like what Evan's building makes it so that the value of that community goes higher. He gives an actual collectible layer, something that people can go ahead and use to proliferate the token more, build the culture out more, make more artists inspired to go out and do a similar effect and launch their own collections. And while he's doing that and actually bringing more discoverability to a token, which ultimately these tokens need discoverability to bring in new holders and new traders, but in that process, also he's actually locking up a portion of the tokens. And those tokens are going into a contract. And now, if you start thinking of it from that collectible aspect where people have a hard time letting go of their collectibles, well, if you have a hard time letting go of these collectibles, well, that means those tokens are going to stay as locked as long as you're not willing to burn the asset, which means that now we're deflating the circulating supply of the token and ultimately driving up the value. So it's like the best of both worlds. We drive the value up for the token, we give artists a way to deploy, and we ultimately build something that is both a collectible and instantly liquid. And I think with a community like this that ultimately has so many creatives in it, I think this collection could be that like first snowball effect that shows some of the other artists that they can go out and do something similar as well. And I think like with enough of these type of experiences and experiments and collections coming out under any one token, we can see finally a real utility that drives true value towards that token economy. So that's the general thesis behind what Binder is.
Yeah, I mean, all that's what got me on board with it. I mean, I do believe this could definitely be like the future, specifically even just for just like NFTs, and a good way for artists to kind of fit in to just like the kind of coin meta, because it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to keep going. And I think it's a great way for hopefully more artists to get back in the space, to see kind of the opportunities and stuff there is, to just getting plugged in to different communities. And for this specifically, SPX 6900, which yeah, like, and I just feel like with all this, it fits so perfectly with this specific coin, because it's like we want to be holding the tokens as well, and like why not add like an extra layer of fun where art can be involved? Like who doesn't like that? And just giving the flexibility to the collector, which is, yeah, which is so nice.
For
so
sure. And like, I think it's the one time too where we actually have a decent amount of holders in some of these tokens. I mean, I don't know what the holder count on XPX is right now, but I'm sure it has some central exchange listings as well. So probably the holders are even bigger than what you see on DEX. So there's a decent amount of holders out there that want to see the token ultimately both be deflated. But I believe like token burns are not really good. It kind of messes up with the actual like market cap numbers and price numbers. So I think this is like that natural progression where you get to not only give something for the collectors, the people that are in the space that like art, that want to be able to like buy something, rock it, collect it, all that. But then you also actually drive value back to the token holders. And I think unifying those sides of the communities is one of the things that has just been missing, right? There's still like some of the people that are in this space that are very NFT centric people that didn't want to necessarily get into meme coin trading or other types of trading because maybe along the way when they didn't have the best experience doing it. But that's really where the space is now. I think like slow trading just doesn't work. Like having illiquid peer-to-peer trading, which is what NFT generally is just not something that is that like it's not alluring to basically like the TikTok brain. The TikTok brain is like everyone wants things really fast. They want to buy it now. They want to be able to flip it fast. Like, and they want to buy the next thing. And that's pretty much like what the meta's become. So I think this kind of helps bridge that gap. And if enough artists actually, come out and experiment and do similar things, then they could actually drive so much value back to those holder bases, which you have a baked in holder base. Like you don't have to actually go out. I mean, I know Evan has his own holder base from all the art that he's released over the years. And you already have like a base of people that you're bringing, but now also the token is bringing its own holder base as well. So you get to basically, tap into a whole new pool of discoverability for your own collection. And I think that is one of the exciting parts as well. Like when artists see the value prop of coming into a baked in ecosystem and releasing something that brings value to that ecosystem, and then having that ecosystem actually support what they launch.
Yeah, totally. I like your point on kind of like the TikTok kind of brain, because I mean, like even like SPX, like they've crushed it on TikTok and they're doing a good job. Like I see it growing on there. Specifically, obviously, Murad has been crushing on there, and I think that's been influencing for sure, like the holder base, which has been like growing. Dude, like the holder base has been growing month after month on SPX. Like it's like I definitely see the longevity with this, and that's a as an artist, that at least for me, that's an important thing. Like I got to see longevity with something, because that's so hard to find in this space, to be honest. We see how quickly things can move, and SPX, and I mean, and Print World with like what you're building and like continue to build upon. Like I see the longevity with it. I see the future with it, and because I feel like it can kind of help respect the artist's work, so it doesn't feel like it's being like thrown into an abyss, essentially.
That's not like when we were going through this process, we started looking at some of these marketplaces. I think like Objective is one of them, if I'm getting the name right. There's like all these like random marketplaces because I hadn't been in the NFT side of things, and I'm so busy like building print. That as we were launching Binder, I was starting to look into these marketplaces, and there's like all this really great art out there, and like people are selling it for like 50 cents, like $1, and it's like crazy. It's like there's all this dope digital art, but also, when you put something up for 50 cents, it just doesn't have that value. When you put something up, like, the great part about this, it's like it's a free mint, but it has a baked in value. It has an actual dollar value attached to it from the tokens that are inside. So while you're able to grow your ecosystem, You're able to, bring new collectors into your art that will look at other pieces that you're going to create. And, while you get to grow that side, you can still do a free mint. But now the free mint doesn't have to start at a zero floor, because when things start at a zero floor, like psychologically, no matter how good it looks, we just don't like appreciate it the same. When you buy something for $1,000, even if it's ugly, it's like you just spent $1,000. You better like it. You spent $1,000 on it. You can't not like it, right? But when when you get something for free, even if it's the most beautiful thing ever, it's free. That's what it was. It's like a coupon that was handed out to you. And I think this kind of helps bridge that gap where we can now see experiments, free art, and people put out things that then have an inherent baked in value. And that way you ultimately get to spawn in like this whole new meta. And the goal is that we had so many artists in the space. We had so many, and I think we still do. It's so fragmented now. Like, they're all in these random small little niche marketplaces, and they're selling pieces for like $1 each. And I think like this way, you come over, you build something like this, like what Evan's doing, and you essentially have something that gets immortalized by that token as well. So if you build it on top of something that you actually believe in, like a token that you believe in, then you get to basically ride along with that token. And also it removes a degree of liability as well. I think that's one of the scary things that people in the space have, where it's like everything's a liability. You launch a token, it's a liability. You launch an NFT, it's a liability. And I think it's because like everything has this expectation that the moment you launch it, you need to provide 17 utilities and a shop online for people to get discounts. And there's all these expectations that are just unrealistic that nobody can deliver on, where this is the perfect utility for both sides. The collectible gets liquidity, and the collectible gets tokens inside of it in a community that's baked in, and the token itself gets a locking mechanism plus a great piece of art that helps it get discoverability, and one that doesn't ever cause the token to be sold. It actually helps the token value go up. So now it's like finally we have that mechanism that lets these sides become unified, and something actually interesting happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I mean, when it comes to like just getting more artists in the space, it's like you want to keep it. Like what I liked about the print world is like it's like I understood it so quick, and usually with the technical stuff, I'm like kind of like, it takes me a second to figure out. I usually can figure it out, but it usually takes a while. So, and like just it's kind of I like that value aspect, like you were saying, because it's like artists can only do so much. So what you want them doing is just creating the best art possible in the end, and you don't want to be putting too many like expectations like on these artists and stuff, and so where it can kind of ride along with the community, um and yeah, just add an extra layer to a coin and add to the culture essentially. And
Look, like I remember like the Murakami flowers. I have so many of those. And I think like that whole thing became so like skewed over time because they had to like build the game, and they had to like build this little Tamagotchi thing. And there's like all these things they had to do. And you could tell they didn't want to do it. It's like they got kind of like trapped into the loophole of having to like fulfill all these like promises, because that was like what the meta was. If that was just tied to even just ETH back then, it didn't even need to be tied to any other token. But if that was just even tied to ETH back then, those things would have maintained their value till today. They would have probably been up right now. And I still hold like I think like 50 of those, and I bought them for like they were just dope art pieces. Like I wanted to just have the art. Um, and I think that aspect gets lost a little bit, because usually when it's just a dope art piece, then people are like, all right, well, like then it should just be worth like $1, and I'll pay $1 for it. You know what I mean? And then it's like, yeah, but the art piece now like is super devalued. Like, what if it could be worth $500, but the $500 is actually inside of it, and anytime you want your $500 back, you can go take it out. And if it's attached to a good community, maybe the 500 becomes 700, maybe it becomes 800. So I think that aspect is one of the interesting parts. Or at least someone like me who has like my like Tetra.eth wallet is just filled with stuff that I never sold. I think back, like if Binder was live back then, God, I'd be rich right now.
I was thinking about like what if this was around like or like even earlier. I mean, I can't imagine too with that. But yeah, no, I like that aspect too, because hey, like I'll, I trade NFTs and do all that too. So I like that like kind of guarantee where you can kind of rest easy. You don't also have to keep an eye on it all the time, which like, and that's another which I kind of just thought about. Like it aligns with SPX as well with that, because there is no chart, right? And it's supposed to, you just got to hold your coins, and the goal hasn't been achieved yet. And so yeah, like this is a great way to do it without worrying about your coins being lost or like anything like that. Um, so for people that are wanting to get to pick up some SPX, can they buy on your platform, Tetra?
Yeah, yeah, you can buy it on print.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure on that. Yeah, so you can collect on there. You can also transfer SPX to your Print World wallet. So yeah, an important thing is you do have to create a Print World wallet. And my reply, for whatever reason, Spaces isn't letting me pin up tweets. I don't know why, but um, in the reply to the Spaces, there's details with like the link to Print World, or you know, if you want to, you can just go to the Print World page and go to that link as well and get signed up. And yeah, I would just say just have everything ready to go before next week. Yeah, a week from now. Uh, but yeah, I'm excited, and it seems like the SPX community is pretty excited about it too. I've been kind of blown away by the support. Like I know that the community is big and everything, uh, but when just putting out the work and everything and seeing people stoked on it, um, you know, that's how you can know that's a
Yeah, I
good.
see Murad reposted it the other day too.
Yeah, Murat. Yeah, dude. I was like, what? Because that you know what the crazy thing was? Like even him sharing it, it's like I didn't even notice because the SPX community was showing up so hard already before that, and didn't even notice. Kane down there texted me, and I was like, wait, what? So I was like surprised, but and kind of not at the same time. I mean, they like everyone does such a good job with like sharing each other's stuff and like what they make. But yeah, I do think what I hope out of this is that creators, because there are a lot of creators in SPX, that they will start doing stuff like this and just kind of keeping almost everything under the SPX 6900 bubble with their art, especially since they're already spending all their time in there. It's like might as well, you know, get your art on the token. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think like especially a community like that, like when you go onto print, when you look at a token and you go into the collectible page, like so at the top there's like a toggle that takes you between token and NFT. A community like that, like the exciting part would be to over time have just a ton of different collections come out and you know you start seeing that token supply get locked away. Like right now with some of the first launches that happen on there, I haven't like looked at the numbers, but I think one of the collections has like Candlecorn has like I don't know 12-13% of their supply locked away, and it's like you know that is a massive catalyst. Usually in the past, like if you over time were able to actually lock supply away in a way where it's decentralized and it's not held by one central party, I think people kind of know, especially over the past month, even with like the post that came about Pepe of like how heavily bundled it was. People kind of have like attached some of these negative words to things this cycle, like a bundle. A bundle is supposed to be a negative thing, but I mean, like that's what supply control is. You know, I know this cycle everything was fully diluted and tokens just fully go live with 100% circulating supply, but it's never been done like that. Like tokens always had gone out with only a percentage that go out day one as an airdrop, a certain percentage that go out with vests and cliffs, and they get distributed over time because you know when they're just all out there and 100% is circulating, it's hard to keep control of it. Like any one person can just go bid, you know, $10,000-$20,000 and hold a massive, almost like overhang over that token. And anytime it tries to break out, those people are able to essentially dump those charts. So one of the great things about this is that, like, you know, by Evan doing this and showing this mechanism to that community, and already so many creatives being there. If some of those creatives convert over and create their own collections, then over time we can just see more and more of that supply get squeezed away and put into this vesting contract and ultimately see you know SPX do even better because now we're basically deflating that supply from circulation.
yeah, totally. And I mean, yeah, it's like if people are already hodling their coins, why not get some art out of it at the same time?
Yeah, it's like it's zero risk too. That's the
Yeah,
part. It's like if you're a new holder, that's one thing. But if you're an old holder, like if you're a new buyer, that's one thing. But if you're a holder that's already has the tokens in your wallet, like there's no difference of your tokens being in your wallet or sitting inside of a collectible. The only difference is now you get a dope collectible with it. So you have nothing to lose. Like you ultimately actually step in, put your liquidity just from one place to another, and now you end up actually having access to a really dope collectible that represents those tokens.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've said this. So there will be an ability to reveal your art or not, correct? Like you can kind of
Yeah,
pick.
so the whole full collection comes like the moment that you mint, you receive an unrevealed asset, but there is no mint out reveal, or there is no like reveal, like instant reveal, any of those kind of things. It's more like everyone just receives their NFT as a pre-reveal, and then it becomes your choice when you want to reveal. And there's just like a small button that lets you like click on each single one, like the NFT card, and instant reveals it for you.
I love that. Makes me think of
Yeah,
trading
keeps
cards.
that like pack, exactly. Yeah, it keeps that pack model. It's like, you bought a bunch of like Pokemon packs, and like I'm gonna keep some of them on box because maybe there's like a Charizard in there, and then I'm gonna keep like some of them like open because I want to see what's in them. It creates that like fun gamification.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Um, cool. Well, I would say if anyone has any questions or anything for either of us, you can request and I'll bring you up. Um, but yeah, just I'll just do a quick summary of some of the details. So on sorry, oh yeah, on January 14th at 5 p.m. Eastern will be the collection launch date. You must bind 69 SPX 6900. That's a lot of 69 on Sol stored per art piece. So for each art piece you want, it's 69 SPX that gets binded to it. In terms of quantity, like collection quantity, I haven't stated that. I'm still determining it. Kind of just seeing how the art's playing out with all of it, but I'll announce that leading up before the mint. And yeah, and just yeah, don't forget to create a print world wallet too. That's a very important part. So be sure to do that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you probably want to do that before as well, so that you can, if you have, especially if you have existing tokens that you're not looking to like buy new tokens, you're looking to move your tokens. So you essentially just set up your print wallet. If you can even do it like Phantom, Soulflare, or you could just even use Google to like sign in. Then you could transfer your tokens in, hold it in that wallet. So when the mint goes live, you're basically ready to bind already. And we got like lots of new updates coming. Actually, like around the same time that you're going to be launching, like within the next week and a half, there's some pretty big announcements coming to like how print is going from this what right now like we call the beta phase into the actual full phase, and there's going to be new features, new abilities, new things for the marketplace, and we're looking to like really grow out the ecosystem to not only support like the artists, the deployers, the ones that are putting out the collections, but also support like the communities that come and buy these collections. So there's some pretty cool models that are coming out that I'm sure the people that are going to be binding are going to really love when they see those announcements kind of go out next week.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that for sure. No, it's going to be cool. What was I going to say? Yeah, no, the cool thing with the teasers for this art collection is I haven't even shown anything close to what the art's going to be. The teasers have like kind of fit the vibe a little bit, but they aren't even like close to anything I've shared. So it's kind of something I'll be doing leading up to it is kind of guiding towards what the art is gonna start to look like and things like that. So yeah, making the teasers is a lot of fun, I gotta say.
They have been dope. Honestly, all the stuff they've been putting out, all of it has been really dope. I literally just went out and bought a ton of SPX just so I can mint a
Let's
bunch of these.
go. Let's go. Persist forever, right? Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything else that you want to cover, or is that pretty
No,
much
I think,
everything?
I mean, those are the mechanisms. Those are, I guess, the general thesis behind things. There's not really much more. Um, yeah, I think ultimately, like by the time you put out some more of the, teasers and marketing items and whatever, and we start rolling out some of the stuff next week around binder protocol and how everything's going to move forward, we're going to see a good confluence leading up to your launch. So it'll be an exciting week next week.
Heck yeah. No, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, and if anyone's like confused or whatever, since we're not getting any requests, don't like hesitate to DM me. Granted, my DMs are a little crazy, so sometimes just respond to one of my tweets saying you DM me, and I will look at it. DMs have been a little nuts lately, so. uh, but yeah, I guess we can just leave it at that. I will be tweeting out more info leading up to the Mint, and maybe a more easier kind of maybe read for like how it's going to work and everything. I'm working on like a little chart kind of thing so that people can easily understand it and everything who weren't able to join this space. But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming to explain this Tetra. I'm super excited. I'm excited on what you built, and yeah, I'm pumped to get my art on it.
I'm excited to see this collection come out. I'm gonna be minting a ton of them, so
Let's
excited for
go.
next week. It's gonna be a dope week.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and me too. Like, hey, I'm gonna be binding. I'm gonna be binding the same amount as everyone else to my own art. So yeah, I'll be joining everybody at the same time while everyone's minting. So I get to kind of partake in the fun and not have like any clue what I'm gonna get. Which so I'm kind of excited about that.
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah,
It's gonna be dope. I'm really looking forward to it.
yeah. But yeah, shout out to everyone. Shout out to SPX community that showed up. I see a lot of Ape Chain people in here as well. Shout out to y'all. And yeah, just stay tuned for more details. And yeah, just get ready. Bye, y'all.